Yo, what it is, world? It's your boy Jay Newz, and you are now tuned into Not Rated Radio on Dash Radio's Dash Discover. And today we have the duo. I would like to introduce the Moonlights. How y'all doing, fellas?
Great, bro.
Good,
How
man.
you doing? Thanks for having us.
Hey, not a problem, man. It's a pleasure to have you on. I can't wait to chop it up with y'all, see what y'all got going on.
Hell
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
So how we get this started is giving a brief summary on the Moonlight from your start of your career to where you are now.
Yeah, basically, we started singing in college, engineering school as a hobby, and then dropped our first single, 2016. And then from there, we just saw some good traction on some like OVO, XO blogs because we have that similar type of sound. And then we dropped like 7 or 8 more songs within a year and a half, 2 years.
Mhm.
And then that's when we got discovered by Sledgerin, one of the main producers of Taylor Gang. And then from there, Sledgerin just introduced us to Wiz. Then we got 5 songs of Wiz on his albums. Just dropped a music video with Wiz 2 weeks ago. So, you know, we got a lot more features coming. Just a whole bunch of work.
Right. I respect that. I respect it. Now, for y'all being identical twins, does anybody of your fans get y'all mixed up when they chopping it up with you?
Yeah, I mean, every day, like we kind of post things on our stories
Uh-huh.
to kind of confuse people. We're just like, is this lover or Kush? And then our fans will just guess. So it's pretty funny. Actually, it's really cool to see because a lot of them can study our individual like faces and our individual profiles,
Mhm.
and they'll be able to tell who's who with just like a little bit of studying. So it's really cool how they spend the time to really focus on that.
Okay, no, that's no, because I was wondering, I'm like, man, I wonder if they get it all the time, probably every day, right?
Yeah,
So
every day.
yeah, I get
Yeah.
that. I get that. All right, well, stepping into a little bit more, when it comes to making music and doing your thing, for a person that hasn't heard your music before, how would y'all describe y'all sound?
I would say it's more like a modern or contemporary R&B type of sound. We obviously have some influences from like The Weeknd, who's more current, and then there's like Sade, who's like 2000s, and then even like some George Michael, who has some R&B pop from the 1970s, 80s.
Okay,
So I think we're like a mix of all those, and we have some influence from Bollywood music. A
okay,
lot of Bollywood music has R&B, but they don't call it R&B over there. But yeah, I think we're just a culmination of all these like different types of sounds, and we have our own modern kind of style to it.
okay. Now, where originally are y'all from?
Our family's from India, so like
Okay.
Bangalore, Mumbai.
All right. So have y'all lived majority over there, or y'all just lived over in the United States, or how did that work out?
So yeah, so we grew up in the U.S. In the Bay Area actually,
Oh, nice.
and then as
We're
far
born
as
here.
yeah, I mean like yeah, I mean we were both born here, and then we go back to India like once or twice a year. Um, so we definitely stay in touch with the culture for sure.
Okay, that's dope, man. I definitely respect that, man. Because I interviewed a lot of people and did do a lot of traveling, so I just wanted to know, like, people want to know. It's like, it's definitely interesting. It's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
all right. Well, you said you had some collabs with Taylor Gang. You work with Taylor Gang. Talk a little bit more about the singles that y'all have pushing now, and let the people know about it.
Yeah, so basically, like my brother said, we dropped a bunch of singles and starting from 2016 to now, and so far, I mean, we've dropped a couple short, small EPs.
Hmm.
The goal is definitely a really big album coming up with features from Wiz, which is that Naughty or Nice track that we just dropped last month. So that's gonna be on there. Then we got a bunch more collabs coming. Some of them may or may not be on the album. We got some unreleased shit with Travis Scott, Megan Thee Stallion,
Oh
a bunch of
shit.
stuff with like Roy Woods, DJ Snake. So we're just trying to piece together some of these collabs for the album, or whatever we have in our control. We're trying to do the best we can with it because we are independent artists. So it is a lot more work for us, but I mean we kind of prefer it that way for now.
Oh man, y'all got some major features on that
Yeah,
motherfucker.
yeah,
I
it's
respect the shit out of that. Now talk about the you said Naughty or Nice, right? Is the single that y'all came out with last month. Talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
the creative process with making that track.
Yeah, so we did our part, like our hook and verse, probably in like 2018 at some point, pretty early, right around the time when we were featured on Wiz Khalifa's like Rolling Papers 2 album. That was a time when Sudra discovered us on SoundCloud, and then we recorded on like 20, 30 beats by Sudra, and that was one of them. That was like one of the first ones we ever did.
Mhm.
But I think after the first Wiz features happened that we were on his albums, we got flown out to LA. A bunch of labels met with us, and then their feedback was that Naughty or Nice was like that. I mean, we only had 10 songs at the time unreleased. Now we have 100 plus. But at the time, they were saying like that was our major hit. We needed like a hit feature on it, so we were pitching it to a bunch of people. But then I think after like 50, like 60 studio sessions with Wiz, he just like, yo, guys, you guys got some stuff for me. Like, I can hop on anything you guys want. So we're like, oh shit, like there's this song, all the labels think it's a hit. So we played it for him and he did it right there and then.
Oh,
So watching him record it in like 30, 40 minutes just in front of us, it was pretty crazy. I mean, yeah, and I guess behind the song itself, creativity wise, like in any relationship, girls or I mean guys too, but people can be like playing games. You don't really know like what their intention is. So that was like the main theme behind it. But then we obviously just put in like every song we do, we want to make sure it's like a story and
yeah.
people can visualize it. So a lot of the bars, like a lot of the lyrics, like just is more like a visual story where people can imagine exactly what's happening as the song goes on.
Hey
Mhm.
man, that's hella dope, man. Congrats on that, man. Y'all
Thank you.
putting in the hard work, man. I definitely respect it. Now backing up a little bit, y'all say what how did y'all get discovered? Because I you mentioned SoundCloud. How did that all come about?
Yeah, so I mean, in college, we actually studied industrial engineering. So,
Damn, okay.
um, it was pretty intense. And then every day after homework, we would just record music. And then it was like 6 songs later, we would just upload to SoundCloud only. We didn't even upload to Spotify or Apple Music or anything. It was just SoundCloud at the time. And
Uh,
then about like 5 or 6 songs later, that's when Sledgerin found one of our songs on SoundCloud. No, so that song was called Drunk. And that song was our first one that made it into like the top SoundCloud charts.
oh, nice.
And I don't know how prevalent SoundCloud is right now, but I know this was like 4 years ago.
Uh huh.
So maybe I think that SoundCloud age of like was still upcoming. I don't know how it is now. We don't really use SoundCloud too much anymore, but back then the song was like number 8 on some R&B chart, and maybe Sudrin found it from there. We're still not sure, but he just hit us up, was like, "Yo, I've been listening to this song "Drunk" by you guys for the past 6 months, and our whole squad is listening to it. Like all the Taylor Gang's on it, and we want to work with you guys more. Let me send you guys beats." So he just sent us like a bunch of beats, and then he was like, "I need you guys to send me back like at least like a few songs a week." And we didn't know what it was for, so we just sent back like we made sure to get like 2 or 3 done a week, and
Hmm.
then like 4 months later, he didn't even communicate with us at all, and he just kept
Damn.
sending beats. So we were like, okay, where's the feedback? He was like, he sent a massive essay on Snapchat, which was random. He was like, hey guys, and it was like we had to scroll for like minutes. He was like, yeah, so I've been showing it to like Wiz, The Weeknd, Travis, like everyone.
Oh shit.
Like Wiz wants to meet you guys, and then he wants you on his album. We're like, what the hell? And then yeah, it was near the end of graduation for our college where we went out to New York City, and then Wiz told us we have 3 songs on RP2, and we were like, that's crazy.
Hell yeah, that's dope. That's fucking hella dope, bro. That's crazy as a motherfucker. When it comes to the studio recording, are you more of like writing lyrics down, freestyling? How does that all come about?
Yeah, so I mean, it really depends, but most of the time it's all freestyling the melodies first because that's kind of what we pride ourselves on is like the dope melodies that we come up with together.
Mhm.
And obviously we also write all the lyrics ourselves, but that's secondary to us in terms of the process. It's always melody first, get the exact melodies down, arrange it in the exact way we want, the best, melodies, like the catchiest ones, put them all together, and then just write and then just write like fit lyrics to the melodies. Or basically write on the spot. So some very rarely we'll find ourselves like having a finished song melody wise, and we
Mhm.
might have to like run out to like a meeting or something. We might have to postpone the writing. So we like sit on that for like a week and we listen like back and forth, every day. But usually, if we have enough time, we'll do like half an hour of full melody work
Mhm.
and get that down. Even if it's just a hook, then we'll just us two. We'll just think of like what story we want to tell, and then we'll write the lyrics, and then we can change it as we go along. But we'll basically have like the outline of the lyrics within like half an hour after we do the melodies.
Okay. Oh, damn. So with that, what do you think your listeners will get out of your music when they listen to it? Like for somebody that's just, brand new to your sound, what do you got for them?
I think that they'll discover like a whole new sound that they haven't heard before because it's very rare to find like an Indian artist that's being supported in the American industry. There's not too many. There's like Nav, maybe
Mhm.
that's like the other guy, but other than that, there's probably not too many. And even Nav, like he doesn't go into like crazy Bollywood style melodies. So I think that like you might hear similar stuff like by the weekend, like he's Ethiopian.
Oh,
So we discovered that Ethiopian culture has a lot of similar runs and riffs and styles as Middle Eastern and Indian music, where we got our first original, influences from.
hmm.
But I think that with the mix of all our influences and the reasoning, like because we're Indian, like no one's gonna find a similar sound to what they're gonna hear. So I think, and also I think the production, like the production from Sledgerin and all the Taylor Gang guys. We also work with some of like the OVO producers. It really brings out like the vocals too because their production is really crazy. So it's open enough to let us do our thing vocally, but it's also like hard enough to be there with like the Travis Scott type beats and the really hard beats that people like really love. So it's a good combination of all things, and I feel like if a brand new listener heard it, they would definitely take a deep dive into the whole catalog because and also like
Yeah.
it's not restricted to like someone's activity. So I know some artists like their music is only for like late night drives. Their music is only for like turning up. But I feel with us like we have all types of music, and I think even each and every song itself, you can do anything. Like you can do any activity to each and every song. So I think it's like a very like chill, versatile sound. Yeah.
Oh man, I like how you put that, man. That gives a real descriptive for the listeners about what y'all all about, what the sound is like. And I heard y'all music before. I think the single that Naughty or Nice I was the one I heard, and I really like y'all sound. So that's real cool, man. That's really really cool.
Thank
Um,
you.
but we're going further with this interview. Talk about you already said you have the singles coming out, but talk about other business ventures and music ventures that you guys are seeing yourself do in the future.
Yeah, so basically, recently, I mean, so we recently got into real estate, and that's because our parents have been doing it for the past 35 years,
Mhm.
and we definitely grew up in the business, observing everything. But we went to school for engineering. After that, like right after we graduated, is when we got discovered by Wiz, Sledger, and Taylor Gang, those guys. So we kind of moved to LA for about a year and a half. Um, and we just took time away from like everything academics and stuff. In the background, we were studying for our real estate license while we were in LA, so it kind of worked out really well. And then when COVID hit, we really got really deep into real estate, and it's been going really well. We just joined the largest, most upcoming real estate brand called Compass, and they put us in their celebrity division, which is really dope. So now we can kind of leverage our celeb connections. Like we know like KD, like a bunch of NBA players, all these artists, and they all talk to us about real estate. In the studio, we'll talk to Wiz and like French Montana about like buying and selling homes, and it's a really cool, different kind of conversation that they can have with us. That's really unique, and that they don't usually have in the studio with anyone else. So I definitely think it's a really cool thing that can go hand in hand with the music career, because people who have money want to invest it, and real estate is like one of the best ways to do that. So I think it's working out really well so far.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So with y'all just naming all these different major artists and athletes, is this sometimes surreal to y'all? Like, damn. Like,
It really is. It really, really is. Like we were look. I mean, we still look up to everyone we talk about, but like it was just probably like 2 years ago or three now, because yeah, like 3 years ago we were just dreaming about like working with Wiz, and then I know one of our friends, after we mentioned we got discovered by Sledger, and he was like, "Okay, so how long do you think it's gonna take for you guys to get a Wiz feature?" And we're like, "Probably like 3, 4 years, maybe if we have a song good enough." And literally 3 months later, it was like 3, 5 songs with Wiz. We're like, "Shit, like what just happened?" And then obviously because of that, like if you know Kelly Oubre Jr., he hit us up on Instagram, and like he also raps on the side, so he linked with us. He flew us out to LA. We made a couple songs with him. KD as well. KD followed us. on Instagram like last year, and he was like, "Yo, I'm late. Like I'm late. You know, because the RP2 album came out in 2018, and he followed us in 2020, and he was like, "Yo, I'm late, but I really fuck with you guys." And we were like, "Dude, that's crazy that you got that. Like, it's crazy that you even remember to like follow us and shit." So like that was cool. And same thing with Megan. Like she hit us up and asked us to hop on her song. So like all these things just really make us like really take a step back and be like, whoa, that's crazy. Yeah.
Man, it sounds like, man, like y'all got a lot going on. I respect it. Y'all got the multi hustles, and I even respect that more because I'm a man of my different hustles myself. So I just applaud y'all, man. Y'all keep doing y'all thing, man. For
Thank
real,
you.
for real.
Thank you.
Now we're leading into this next and last question that I have for y'all. Talk to the people or talk to the up and comers that, you know, don't have really no direction, need some guidance. What would be the best advice that both of y'all would like to get to them? And if they're coming up in the music game.
Yeah. I would say that I wish we had someone to give us this advice, but if you know, since others will be in our shoes that we were in like a few years ago, I just think that like you shouldn't get discouraged by anything. We had a lot of like hate growing up, you know, not always growing up, but I guess when we started making music, everyone was just like, "You guys are Indian, like focus on your academics, like do engineering," which we did. But they were just like, "Oh, quit your basketball, like stop all this. You don't need to do this. Like it's useless, wasting your time." So you know stuff like that. We just since we had each other as brothers, and we're twins. So I think that really helped. Not everyone has a twin to really back them up in any situation, but I think that helped us the most. But I think block out any hate and just really focus on yourself. And also, I wouldn't if someone's doing music and upcoming, I wouldn't really put all the eggs in that basket. Like we were always brought up very well rounded. We did like every activity possible. We played like every sport. We studied every subject, and we just like did everything a human could do growing up. So I think that's the key. Do everything possible. Something will click, but even if music doesn't click right away, something will happen for you eventually because you have so many different skills that you won't feel pressured in any like. Because we do real estate. If music's not working out for like a couple weeks, we have real estate. If that's not working out, we have something else. So I think that helps you in all forms, is having multiple skills and multiple activities and jobs, careers, passions. Yeah. So I think that's the main thing. Just don't limit yourself, and I think that'll help you for everything in life.
Sure, man. Well put. Well put right there. All right, y'all. Well, before we get up out of here, I just want to say thank you for hopping on Not Rated Radio Radio, chopping it up with the boy. Again, some mad info about y'all. And I can't wait to see what y'all got in store next. But before we get off the line, can y'all give everybody the social media where they can find your music and everything like that?
Yeah. So it's The Moonlight with the X's instead of the O's. So TheMxxn, like The Moonlight with X's instead of the O's, on all platforms. Instagram, social, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, everywhere possible. So, yep.
Well, y'all heard it from them, folks. Run up them numbers, get them platinum plaques, man. Two talented twins right here, motherfuckers. Identical twins. So I respect y'all even more for the hustle and the grind. And definitely keep us in tune over here at Dash Radio, Not Rated Radio, with the music so we can put y'all in rotation and get it popping for y'all.
Yeah, bro. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for having us, bro.
Man. Y'all have a blessed one and stay safe out there.
You too, bro. You too, bro.
All right, man.